What up, beautiful people? It's Carl Mays. I am back for another MC tip. And I'm going to keep saying another because I got so many to be able to give. Welcome to those who are here for the first time. Again, you are locked on to the Wedding MC TV. And these things that I'm doing these days are basically giving a tip a day, an MC tip. So if you are a MC, a host, a national motivational speaker, or just a speaker, or you're in some capacity of standing in front of people with a microphone in your hand, then you're in the right place. And if you are trying to figure out what that means you are exactly where you need to be to make sure you join the tribe and be a part of this family that we are going to grow organically. You're still early, and we're just on our ascend. So every day, somebody's subscribing. So I want to make sure I'm saying what I'm supposed to say. Like, comment, subscribe, and definitely share. Do not be a gatekeeper. Share the page, with some people, y'all, and let's continue to be able to grow. There was something that was, kind of unusual that I spoke about recently, which was basically dressing appropriately. And I mean, later that night, I, attended an event, and I'm watching this young lady, very nice, MC. She's very quirky, but at the same time, it was interesting because I didn't think she looked the part of what the event was about. Just my personal opinion. And, I know some of the people that I was sitting next to, were kind of questioning her outfit. It is what it is. And it's okay to be provocative, but at the same time, you want to make sure it's not at, an expense of the event to where it takes away from the event. Remember that. So it was interesting that I had just did a video about that earlier that day, and then later that night saw that. I thought that was interesting. So a lot of people out there need help. So one of the things about it, though, is she's going to be joining the tribe. So, I told her to make sure she definitely, kind of locked on. She did a great job, though, overall. And I just think that we're all, in a space where we can continuously be able to grow. I am not critical because let me tell you something. There's a lot of money to be made out there, meaning like from MCs and hosts, a lot to be made. There's a funny thing, but I'm going to make sure I get the data together. There are a lot of events that go on every single weekend, whether it's from birthdays to bar mitzvahs to, celebrations to annual events to, all white parties, camouflage parties, poetry shows, talent shows, probates, just so many different things. And my whole thing is that they always need a great host. And this is going to be your hub to be able to come to in order to be able to get out there and go be great. Take some of your resources and your tips from all the shared things that are going on. Those that are in the comments that are MCs, y'all give some great stuff. But don't be in here being self-indulged, because I'll be honest with you, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm still learning. So it's a lot to learn. One of the things we can't help you get over is your introvertedness or extrovertedness. That's going to be probably some counseling you may need. So shout out to those that are, that have that extroverted, kind of spirit, and they don't mind being in front of people. Because at the same time, you can't worry about what nobody think about you. And that's a lot of stuff that stops people from being great as it relates to being on the microphone. Now, we're here. Let's get ready to give another MC tip. And I always jot them down. I want to make sure I, help you all out in understanding it. Practice your vocal projection for different audience sizes. Practice your vocal projection for different audience sizes. It says a strong voice is one of an MC's most powerful tools. Remember that. Practice projecting your voice so that it's clear and audible without shouting. Right now, I'm talking from my diaphragm. And that's exactly where you want to be able to project from. You don't want to sound like you're straining. If you are straining, then you definitely either have a very light voice or it's very difficult for you to project. And the air that you're using is not, pushing enough, for your voice to project loud enough in order for, especially a microphone, to be able to hear it. For larger audiences, use the microphone effectively. We got some stuff we're going to talk about in some later videos where, I talk about the different types of microphones, the difference between, a microphone that may be considered a cheap microphone to one of your expensive microphones and why they are actually kind of different. Again, you want to hold it at an appropriate distance and test it beforehand to avoid feedback issues. In smaller settings, like this is intimate, I got, the lapel mic on. In smaller settings, focus on maintaining a conversational tone while ensuring everyone can hear you. I'm in conversational mode. It may sound like I'm shouting here and there because I just talk loud, but this is more conversational mode. And I pray that you all are able to hear me. And lastly, practice breathing techniques and diaphragm support to maintain consistent vocal strength throughout the event. Can't say it anymore. Again, your vocal projection is important, so you want to know your audience size. Let's talk about that right quick and just kind of expand on it. There's a difference with me doing an event at let's say a spoken word event, small, quaint, very nice room, may hold about 100, 150 people. Uh, Nice drinks. The ambiance is great. The stage lighting. We're basically all in this small spot. I can kind of talk to you. My influxes are easy. My facial expressions, my patience, being able to recognize, with, the people, my pauses, waiting for the banter. Um, those are some rooms that are sometimes hard to perfect, but those are some good rooms to be able to work on your skill set and your craft. And people don't have to know you're working on them, but those are some good rooms to be able to work on, but they're completely different from, let's say, um, an auditorium that holds maybe 1,500 people. Can be a little bit different. And it challenges you sometimes in your patience. And when I say patience, I'm talking about if I say something, I have to allow for that space for a reaction. And sometimes the distance causes people to be off kilter. It can put you in a space where you start to sound hurried, right? And you don't want to do that. And it's very different from that intimate room. I don't have to have that much space because we're all intimate. And I know this sounds, challenging, but you'd have to be in the moment to really understand. Those that are out there that have been in those differences of types of rooms understand what I'm talking about. They can say, yeah, I understand that. And it's probably not this thing that's a big thing, but it has a lot to do, not necessarily with the crowd as much. It has a lot to do with your rhythm. Because I always think like anything else, kind of like a rapper or a singer or something, there's always a cadence, right? And emceeing and hosting is a cadence as well, um, in its own sense. And if I were in a room just, full of MCs, I know that they would understand what I'm talking about. And I would get some feedback right now just from their own perspective of what cadence means to them as well. Um, Also, a 1,500 seater theater style auditorium is completely different from a stadium. Mm, that is definitely different. A stadium that holds, I don't know, 5,000 people is different from a stadium that holds 90,000 people. So when I say stadium, I'm giving you, the dynamic of it being different from a 1,500 seater. So yeah, if you just moved up and you did a stadium that holds 5,000 people, maybe like a small high school stadium, or maybe even just one side, it's different, but it's not as much of a difference as it would be from a 1,500 seater to a 90,000 people seater stadium. That is hectic. One reason why you have to understand it, the more people it is, sometimes the further you are. I'm gonna let that marinate for a minute. The more people, the further you are. So which means that now you get into this dynamic of dealing with space. Time, space, and opportunity. I think that just fits for now. When I say something in a smaller room, through a microphone. This is sound and travel. And the sound goes through the microphone, out the speakers to the audience. A smaller room, it gets there quick. A little bit of larger room, it's got a little bit more distance to get there, which is what I mean by patience and timing. Allowing it to be able to hit the people, they have to process the information in order to be able to regurgitate either a laugh or or whatever the case may be. It's a cadence. That's a 1,500 seater. A 5,000 seater, a little bit more distance. I'm still on the field, but they're up in the stands. I mean, it's like distance, as in not just distance like that, but the amount of time that it takes for my sound to go through the speakers to get to the people. 90,000 people can really throw you off. Really throws you off because now you really have a lot of distance between you. You're this figure, and these people all around you like this bowl. These speakers are strong enough to magnify your sound to these people. However, there's a timing and there's a delay. When I say, hey, hey, it's how maybe 2, maybe 3 second delay. I just want to say, I'm happy to be here with everybody. I'm happy to be here with everybody. And you in rhythm and cadence, it is throwing you off. You can't really understand. You got a monitor in your ear. Monitor meaning like you should be able to hear yourself real time through that monitor, but that echo out there somehow bleeding back to you and you can hear it and you just like, and don't be a rapper or a singer if you're not used to that. It will throw you all the way off. You forgetting words, you sound like you're rapping on top of yourself. It gets real crazy. Just remember, it's a difference when we talk about that because your vocal projection is very important, first of all, to be heard. But secondly, you want to make sure that you understand, the size of room does matter. And I hope that was explained a little well because unless you've done it or you're currently in that situation, you might not understand the magnitude of what I just talked about. And but I pray that everybody gets that opportunity. Um, you know, I think I could somewhat get you prepared, but nothing is like being there in it in real time. That is something to see. I almost remember my first time being in that size stadium. I think I was in college, and I was again announcing for our band, and you're talking about 80,000 people, and I had never done anything to that magnitude at that time. And I was a little nervous, but at the same time, I was eager to see what the outcome was going to be. I know that sounds weird, but but I think that I learned a lot from it. I didn't do bad, but it was definitely something I was like, whoa, that delay was freaky crazy. And I didn't know whether, people heard me right or not. I thought I was messing up. I just locked in to say, just get the words out, stay on your script and just make it happen. Trust what's already written. Because at this point, I cannot be listening and trying to hear myself. That becomes a problem too. See, some of you all, even like I'm recording right now, even if I was doing this live, I still do it with no headphones because I'm used to hearing my voice. But some of y'all, when you're on podcasts and all that, you have headphones on. A lot of it may have to do with acoustics and things of that nature, but a lot of it also has to do with hearing yourself. And I can trust myself because I can hear myself and I'm okay with how I sound. There's so many other little factors in there, but And or, people have to make sure that they're projecting, what we're talking about right now, vocal projection. So as long as they can hear themselves, they don't sound distorted or feel like they're sounding distorted, and or it doesn't make them talk so soft. So if somebody can hear themselves and they're speaking in the microphone, they know exactly what they sound like. So they want to stay in that area, so they're hearing themselves in tone, and they, kind of get past it. So yeah, but I'm kind of familiar with my voice. I've been doing this, long enough, so I understand exactly how I sound, how I want to sound, and whether or not I'm getting too relaxed. I use my voice a lot, so even when I do like that, it sometimes start to feel, scratchy, because I've been using it, every day, as a matter of fact. Not only do I MC, but I speak. I speak, all over the country, and I'm a good conversationalist, so I like to use my voice. But I hope this tip was really good. Again, your vocal projection is, you know, a variable, and its variances depending on the size of audiences. So whatever you do, just make sure that you're always projecting and always being here with us. How about that? This is Carl Mays, y'all, the Wedding MC TV. Another MC tip down on the table for you. Take heed to it. Keep the videos locked, and remember to like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, I put some questions in each one of the descriptions. So make sure y'all answer that question in the comments, man. Check your boy out and share this page. Don't be a gatekeeper. I'll see y'all on the next one. In the meantime and in between time, don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Do everything I would.